Hey everybody, this is Cedric Honstadt, illustrator and cartoonist. I'm trying something new. I'm trying my very first ever live drawing on YouTube. So I've never done this before. I have no idea how it's going to go, but I thought we'll give it a try and see what's happening. Over here you can see my my iMac monitor where I've got Safari open right now. Mainly that's up there just in case here, you know what? I should hide some things here. That's up there just in case I need to do some Google image search or anything like that. I'm also just going to test really quick here and look at my YouTube channel and see if it shows up that I'm streaming. Supposedly this is going out to YouTube, but not seeing it on my channel. So, oh, that's the uploads page. We'll see what happens. So hopefully some of you are seeing this. If not, I don't know. We'll chalk it up to the rigors of science and experimenting. Anyway, so I will close that right now, and we will just get a new window going here. So what I'm doing is, excuse me, what I'm doing is trying some face mask art. I was looking here. You know, we'll look over here on. There's two sites right now that I'm aware of, Teepublic and Redbubble, that allow you, and there's lots of sites where you can do artwork and upload it and then sell it on t-shirts or stickers or whatever and collect a couple bucks for every sale. And with the downtime of the quarantine and everything, I've been experimenting some with that. Amazon has a great one, Merch by Amazon, which I got into recently, but then they shut everything down. They've shut down their merch program because of the quarantine, but these other sites are up and doing it, and the reason I'm choosing right now Teepublic and Redbubble is because Teepublic and Redbubble are both in the process of letting you design face masks. And let me see if I can find the page here really quick. Let's see if they've got it here. They basically will let you upload any artwork that you want, and if someone wants to buy it, they will custom print a face mask for that person and then give you a buck or two. So it's not a lot of money, but it's just something to. It's fun to try something creative and something different. I have some client work right now, but things are slower than normal. So because of the quarantine, so I'm just giving this a try. And I've seen all these YouTube Live or Facebook Live videos, and I'm experimenting with that as well. So see, there's some sample face masks that people have done. Some of them are kind of funny. I think there's one somewhere I saw that said, if you can read this, you're too close, on the face mask. That's pretty cool. And so what I did was I started making some designs last night. And my thought was this could either be used for the COVID-19 thing, or if you've got a child who's sick in the hospital, or for some reason people have to wear face masks around the child, you could have, or if you just with COVID-19, if you've got kids that are getting nervous or scared or apprehensive about everything that's going on, they could wear face masks that are silly and kind of add some humor to kind of take some of the edge off of everything. Now, the face masks, as I understand it, are one size fits all. So I don't even know on smaller kids if they would actually work. I'm thinking mainly more for the parents and the adults and the older kids around them to wear so that the kid can see them and be silly and laugh. Anyway, these are some designs that I did. Start with, of course, the typical, the mustache, but I'm making some. Here we go. Here's the mustache, and if you can see this, I know this is probably, I'm going to drag it down here so that you guys can see what I'm doing. Boy, I'm such a newbie at this. So this is the mock-up from Teepublic of what it would look like on a person's face. And I've got, been doing some other designs. Let's see. This one, just a few silly smiles. They're simple, they're quick to draw, and so we'll see. We'll see if anything comes of that or not. Anyway, so my wife came in last night and said, you should do some that are animal snouts. And I thought, that's of course, duh, why didn't I think of that? That's a great idea. So down here I've started roughing in very quickly just a simple animal design, and I'm about to ink it. And so I will try and talk while I draw. I don't know my brain can do that. We'll see. I'm used to working in solitary, but I'll give it a try. I'm inking in Photoshop. Photoshop is a great program. I use it often, but it's terrible for inking. I really should be inking these in Procreate on my iPad, but I don't know how to do that without and still live stream the video this way. So I will do my best. I found that it seems to me in Photoshop, if you are zoomed in at either like an even number, like 50% or 100%, you get a decently smooth line. But I'm a fussy inker, so I often will, especially when I'm warming up, when I'm not really in the groove yet, I'll often redraw my lines several times because I know it's not efficient at all, but that's just the way I work. But I've noticed that if you're zoomed out at something like 25% or 16% or one of these other default numbers that Photoshop defaults to, for some reason the inking lines look all jagged and rough, and they're much smoother when you're zoomed in on a certain. And it's not it's not just that they appear jagged and rough at that zoom setting, and then if you zoom in or out, they get clean again. It's not like that. I don't know what it is. It seems to be some kind of bug in Photoshop, and it's been around forever. But if I draw a line and I'm zoomed in at 50% like I am right now, it turns out pretty crisp, and I can zoom in and out, and that crispness is still there. But if I draw that same line and I'm zoomed in at say 75%, the line gets all jagged, and if I zoom in or zoom out, it stays jagged. So it has something to do with I don't know how it works. I'm not a computer coder or programmer, but it would be wonderful if Photoshop could fix that. I think Procreate has really been running circles around Photoshop the last couple of years. Photoshop used to be king of the mountain for drawing, and not so much lately. It seems to I think they're losing a lot of ground to Procreate. And Procreate, there's about 90% of what I can do in Photoshop I can do in Procreate, often with better results. There's still a few things that I need to do, like Procreate has a text feature. Like when I do cartoons, you need to have captions and text, and that's Procreate recently. That's something that's easy to do in Photoshop. Procreate recently added that ability. I don't like how this. I'm trying to find the right size to make this tooth look a little goofy, like it's a little different size from the other tooth. Procreate has a text feature, but it doesn't. It's very buggy. It doesn't. I've had terrible luck with it. It doesn't seem to work very good. I'm trying to draw the teeth, and this is kind of a generic animal snout. I guess you could say it's a dog, but it could be a wolf or something else. I was trying to sketch up something that was quick and easy to draw because I don't want to spend a ton of time on these because I'm not sure if they're even going to sell. But I wanted to make something that was happy, that was silly, and I'm also trying to, what I'd like to do is try and just have it give a bit of a goofy feel to it, and I think if I can mess around with the proportions just a little, making one tooth be shorter and wider, and the other tooth be a little taller and thinner. Here, let me play around with that. I like that. I love the transform tool in Photoshop. I use it all the time to experiment with sizes and proportions while I'm drawing. We should move that in a little. Maybe I could even. No, I think I liked it before. Better before. I fuss with my drawings a lot. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it really slows me down. And I don't know, I'm sure this is probably a common thing among artists, but I tend to really get deep into my drawings when I'm working on them where you can't see the forest for the trees. And quite often I will do something I think is looking pretty good, and then I'll go out and have some lunch or go for a walk or something, come back and look at it again and be like, oh my goodness, there's a lot of need to fix in this. Or the opposite will happen. Sometimes I'll do one that I think is just turning out terrible because it just doesn't look at all like what's in my head. And then I get away from it for a little bit and let my brain sort of clear out. And then it turns out it doesn't look so bad. I was just drawing a line for the highlight on top of the nose, and I think I may wind up just deleting that line and just showing the highlight with flat color only. I debated whether I should even ink this drawing at all, because it's an extra step that takes more time, and doing things just with flat color and no line art seems to be kind of in right now. But I don't know, there's just some, maybe I'm just too set in my ways, but there's something about line art that I think makes it feel more cartoony and makes it pop. And if I don't have the line art when I lay in the flat color, it can sometimes cause me to I don't know, it just doesn't feel right sometimes. I feel like if I just put in flat color with no outline around it, I just don't like the look of it. And I'm trying to decide if the cheeks are slightly off center or slightly out of balance. So if I hide my undersketch layer. Okay, now I'm starting to notice doing big swoopy lines when you're inking is really hard. It's much easier to ink smaller areas when you have to, at least for me it is, when I have to draw a big giant swoopy line and help it make it look strong and confident and natural and accurate. I struggle with that, so I will often kind of go in and fuss with the line sometimes and and mess with the thicks and thins. So I'm actually doing this very inefficient thing of pushing and pulling and redrawing and very meticulously sculpting the line to get what I hope kind of looks like a natural, when I'm all done, will look like was just a confident, smooth, natural stroke that took 2 seconds, when in reality I spent like a whole minute on that one line. So I am not the world's most efficient inker. That's something else with inking. When I was young, before computers were really taking over the industry, everything was still inked with pen and brush. And I got pretty decent at inking with markers, but I never could get the handle of inking with a brush. I tried it a few times, and I just got extremely frustrated. Inking with a brush, I have tremendous respect for anybody who can ink with a brush, because I think you can get amazing, beautiful results, but I just could never get the hang of it. Same with watercolor. I like messing around with digital watercolor. There's some really fun brushes I've got in my Photoshop that I'll use sometimes. But in real life, in watercolor, I went to art school for 6 years, and we tried everything. Tried oil paint, acrylic, charcoal, all that stuff. And I was decent at most of it, but I just was always messing up the watercolor, because watercolor is not a forgiving medium. If you put down, like with oil paint is very wet and smushy, so if you put down some brush strokes you don't like, you can kind of smush them around or paint over them. And it's also very opaque. You can paint over things. It's relatively easy to fix. But with watercolor, it just soaks right into the paper, and everything's kind of semi-transparent, so you can't paint over it. If I put down a blob and it bleeds over a little too far, you can't really erase it because it's soaked into the paper, and you can't paint over it because whatever you paint over it is going to be transparent, and the old color is going to show through, and my watercolors would just always wind up looking overworked and muddy. So, I wish I knew, I should be checking. Let me see. I don't know if any of you are, well, first of all, I don't know if anybody's watching this, but if you are, I don't know if you are chatting or not. And so, I'm trying a new software called OBS, which I've never tried before, and I should be looking to see if there's got to be a way where I can Find a chat window. Boy, this is just a train wreck of a video stream. I should have had this all set up beforehand. Well, let's see. Can I do that in OBS or do I have to do it on YouTube? Let me go to my channel here and see. I would think, I guess I just assumed that it says it's streaming to YouTube, so I could go to my YouTube channel and there would be the stream. But doesn't seem to be the case. What am I doing wrong? Somebody might be watching this and yelling at their screen going, "You dummy, you gotta do blah blah blah." But I don't know what the blah 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 is. So, is it YouTube Studio? Is that where I go to see it? Oh my goodness. No. Okay, I'm gonna turn that off. Okay, well, hopefully this is getting out on YouTube. I'm sorry that I don't that I can't see any chatting or comments if anybody are posting any. But we will just push forward with the drawing. Well, actually, I'm going to check one other thing. I'm going to check my Facebook super fast and see if anybody left a comment. I just posted what I thought was the link to the video. We'll see if I can see anything there. Nope, no comments there. Anybody commenting over on Twitter? Okay, this is, I know this is not what you tuned in for. I apologize. We'll get back to drawing in just a minute here. Notifications, any comment or something? I'm trying to see if anybody offered any. Basically what I did was I just put out the announcement about a minute before I went live because I thought I had it all set up. So I'm realizing not too many people are going to be checking this out anyway. Okay, well, let's just get back to drawing, and if nothing else, I've learned something and had a little fun. So anyway, pretty much got this inked. Now I'm just going to slap in some flat color, and then I will show you how I upload it to Teepublic and to Redbubble, and then we'll go from there. So Redbubble, I'm very new to Redbubble, but they seem to be a popular platform for artists. I've got some other designs that I've done for T-shirts and things. I put them on Merch by Amazon, which then shut down. Merch by Amazon only does T-shirts, but they're, from what I understand, they're kind of quickly becoming a very kind of king of the mountain in terms of the print-on-demand space, at least for shirts. And I was just starting to get a little steam with that, and this COVID-19 thing hit, and they basically Amazon temporarily shut down all their whole Merch by Amazon program. I also uploaded artwork onto Teespring, which I don't think has near as big of an audience, but you can actually make a little more money per shirt on Teespring, and they allow you to also put the same artwork on mugs and stickers, and I think they've got about 30 different things you can sell. iPhone cases, tote bags, anything that has that artwork on. The reason I even got into this in the first place was I saw a YouTube video by an artist, and I apologize, I can't remember who it was. Somebody I'd never heard of. I don't know. I stumbled on it going down a rabbit hole somewhere. And he was an illustrator and had, as far as I could tell, had only uploaded a few designs. But he was sharing how much money he was making with it, and he had a few designs on Merch by Amazon. I think he'd made something like $6,000 a year or something just of extra passive income. And now I have no idea if that's even close to realistic or for me or not. Probably not, at least starting out. But, you know, you got to give it a try. I did some research on it, and Merch by Amazon is really popular now. They actually have a waiting list to get into the program. Basically, I had to fill out a form on their website, and I said I'm a cartoonist and I've got this much following, et cetera, et cetera. And I applied, and then it took a few days, but they did let me in. And the way it works is you have to. They have different tiers because I guess because there's so many people on the platform. I'm going to fix some of these colors in a minute. It's hard to think about color and talk at the same time. Anyway, they start you out on what's basically just called the 10 tier. So where you can only upload up to 10 designs, and you have to sell at least 10 shirts before you can move up. And then you move up to, I think it's the 25 tier or 50 tier or something like that. And eventually you work your way up to 100 tier. So like at the 100 tier, you would be able to upload up to 100 designs, but then you have to sell at least 100 shirts before you can move up to the next tier. And the higher up the tier rankings you are, the more your shirts show up in Amazon search results. So it's a really scrappy battle at the 10 tier level at the bottom to try and get anybody to buy, to notice you or buy anything. But then as you have more success and you prove yourself popular and people buy your designs, you work your way up and you get to have more designs, and your search results are you're more easily found on Amazon. So it's like this momentum kind of builds as if you can work your way up, and then you make more money. The videos I watched and the articles I read basically said when you're at the 10 level at the bottom, don't even try and make a profit on your shirts. Price them as cheap as you can. Just want to sell to get up into the higher levels because that's where the money is. So it's kind of a lot. Some people will even just buy it. They'll just throw $150 at Amazon and say, I'm going to order 10 of my own shirts just to get out of that level. I haven't done that, but I've thought about it. But we'll see. Teespring, on the other hand, they let you do shirts and pillows and stickers and everything. And so I'm on that as well. And then there's the problem, of course, on my website store. which service do I promote? Do I try and push people to Amazon, or do I try and push them to Teespring? So I'm still experimenting with that. And of course, neither Amazon nor Teespring lets you do print-on-demand masks, which you can only do on Teepublic, and now on Redbubble. And Teepublic and Redbubble, which I just signed up for them yesterday, so I'm brand new to this. What I've seen on Teepublic is they sell these shirts and masks and stuff. On Merch by Amazon or on Teespring, you can set whatever price you want. The more expensive your item is, the more money you make when you sell it, but also less likely to have people buy it. Teepublic, which does the masks, they set the price for you. You don't really have, as far as I can tell, you can't really change it. So you sell a shirt and you get, I think it's $2, and that's it. You don't have any say in it. And if you sell a mask, it's $2 for a mask, and except right now their masks are on sale, in which case they only give you $1 for a mask. So it's really not a good way to make money. But it's a little passive income here and there, and it's fun to try something different. I feel like even if I don't make much money at this at all, I at least can learn from the experience, and I've got some new artwork maybe I can do something else with down the road. A lot of this print-on-demand merch stuff, from what I understand, it's also, you have to think of it in the long term. You have to, it's a volume business. You try and create a bunch of designs that people will like and spread it out over time. As the sales accumulate, you slowly make money over time and slowly build to something bigger and bigger. So when you first start out, maybe the first year, you don't hardly make anything. But the hope is that if you keep at it, down the road, you could make a decent income. Don't know if that's true or not, but it's fun. I also like that I kind of get to draw what I like to draw instead of always doing what my clients want. I love working for my clients, but there's an extra layer of fun that comes with being able to do something that I chose to do rather than something I was asked to do. Okay, so I've got this snout basically done. I think I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to add a quick layer of shadow to it just to see if I like that or not. Maybe I'll change my mind. And then I'm going to, I might mess with the colors for a minute, and then I will show you how to upload it, and we'll see if it goes live. Oh, something else about Redbubble and Teespring about their masks. So I may be jumping the gun on all of this because Redbubble actually hasn't made the masks available yet. They say on their website it's like coming soon. Like you can upload the artwork, but you can't, and you can buy them, but they're not actually making and selling them just quite yet. So I'm not sure how that's all going to work, but hopefully that's going to change very quickly. And then on Teespring, I just noticed last night after I signed up and started uploading designs that they put they have all their masks listed as out of stock. So they must be just getting slammed with orders. Is my guess as to what's going on. So right now, even though those two sites allow you to sell masks, they only sort of allow it because Redbubble isn't live with them yet, and Teespring is out of stock. So this is all just one big experiment for me. Just trying to kill a few hours and see what I can learn from it. Okay, so I am going to just desaturate that shadow a little bit more. Alright, I think I like that better with the shadow. Actually, I'm going to put a little bit of a shadow around the nose as well. Change that to... Just put a little bit of a shadow under here. And it kind of makes it feel like it pops a little bit more. Maybe I'll look at it later and decide I overdid it. Maybe I'll decide the shadows were overkill. But for right now, boy, let me see. Those shadows, they do feel like overkill. And I'll just decrease the opacity some more so that they're kind of there. The other thing I'm going to do, I'm going to drag it up onto my other monitor for a second. I have different color encodings on my two monitors, and this helps me see a little more, see it a little bit fresh. I'm going to leave the shadows there. Okay, so this design is not going to win any awards, but this is something that I'm trying. All right, so I'm going to export this as a transparent PNG. And it has to be a certain size. I'm actually going to shrink it down because of the way Teepublic is set up. So now I'm going to go to my web browser, and I'll drag it down into the big window here so you can see it. Teepublic. And I'm going to upload a new design. I'm going to basically... first, I'm gonna copy and paste some of the content from my previous upload. So, upload a design, and click the image that I just made in Photoshop. Let's see, Snout 1. File requirements: a high-resolution transparent PNG at 150 dpi. Okay. All right. So that's the artwork up there. Then down here. This doesn't make any sense. I'm turning off. I'm not going to sell it as an apparel or a sticker or anything else, but I will sell it as a mask. So I click on the masks button at the bottom, and then this shows me approximately what it will look like. And then I can shrink it down or enlarge it. I think I'm going to shrink it down a little, and then you can slide it up or down. I'm going to slide it up just a little, because the way they have the model who's going to model this in the stock photo, it's almost like the bottom third of the mask is all just completely wrapped under their chin. So if you put it really in the center of the mask on the model's picture, it's going to look like it's down in the middle of her chin. So I have to bump it up a little higher, I guess. Still trying to mess around with that, and I can go back and change this, which is easy. So I'm not sure what should I title this design. Snout. Happy dog. I don't know. I will call it that for now. Happy dog. I can always go ahead and change it. Okay, so I'm gonna my main tag. I'll put as a dog. Description. Okay, so for my description, I just have kind of a generic description from these other designs. So I will pick one, and then I'm just going to copy and paste what I had. Okay, that one I also made as a sticker. I thought it might be kind of cool. Okay, I click on the mask. Okay, and I wrote, bring comfort and joy to children during a difficult health crisis, or show you can face this coronavirus COVID-19 with humor and a silly smile. So I'm gonna, oops, basically paste that into the description. I might tweak it a little. I'm trying to think about keywords. I don't know if that matters or not, but I want to have keywords. I'm going to say, use this animal snout to, then now I've got the word dog in the title, I've got animal and snout. With humor and a love for pets. I'm trying to think of keywords that will that will be interesting to people, that will drive people. So I'll put, oh, dog. You can pick up to 14 tags, I think it is. Dog, dog lover, animal, animals. Snout. Oh, that is snout is a keyword. Okay. Nose. Oh. I'll just put smile. Let's see. Humor, funny, silly. Oh, I was going to put COVID-19, COVID-19, coronavirus, quarantine, medical, nurse. Oops. Oh, I've already met my, I was going to put nurse and doctor, but I've already met my keyword limit. But I've got nurse and doctor on my other masks, so hopefully if a nurse or a doctor is looking for something and they see that, they will look at my collection and see this one as well. I don't think that's what people are going to be searching for too much, so I'm not too worried about that keyword not being there. Okay, and then I got to pick my background color, which is white. I got to put in the 6-digit color code for that, which the RGB color code for white is FFFFFF. It's just basically 6 Fs. So you put that in, and then publish. So then I can go over here to my Teepublic page. I'm going to refresh it. Now if I click on this Happy Dog shirt, it says Happy Dog shirt. It's not a shirt though, it's a mask. Oh, you can see that that's kind of the demo of how it would look on somebody. So I guess it's okay. You can see where it says out of stock right here in big letters. All masks are temporarily out of stock. They will be available again soon. Anyway, so that's something I'm just messing around with. I think I'm going to just leave that collection be now and maybe come back to it at another time. But we will see. I've got bubblegum and bucktooth smile and some big lips. And just messing around a little. So that's what I'm doing. Thanks for watching this. Thanks for being guinea pigs on my first ever live stream. I hope this went out live. And have a great day.